Over the last few generations has been increasing emphasis put on the idea that we need to save endangered species. However, in many cases, we are not told why we need to do this because losing species does matter. In this video, I will be taking you to some of the main reasons why endangered species matter, and hopefully by the end, you will encourage to take actions. Thank you. A species can be an animal, a tree, a coral, or any number of other life forms on this planet. Endangered means seriously at risk of extinction. According to the International Union for Conservation of Nature, it tells us whether a given species still exists and the likelihood of the species becoming extinct in the future. They also provide a red list of the threatened species. This is a critical indicator of the health of world's biodiversity. A species can fall into one of the 8 categories. First is the least concerned, near threatened, vulnerable, endangered, critically endangered, extinct in the wild, extinct, and data efficient. When we say critically endangered, it means that the species is at extremely high risk of extinction. And endangered means a very high risk of extinction. And vulnerable species means high risk of extinction. There have been 5 big massive extinction in geologic history, and everybody knows about the asteroids that wiped out the dinosaurs. One of the lesser known facts about the extinction is where the 5 mass events, natural extinction. This is when a species declines gradually at the end of its evolutionary period. Evolutionary adaptation has given rise to the cornucopia of life of all of the species that have ever lived. Only a tiny fraction is alive today. The evolutionary of some species were just not good enough and killed by the predators. Species that are more adaptive to their environment are more likely to survive and pass on the genes that aided their success. This process causes species to change and diverge over time. Now we'll look to the bigger picture, which is the ecosystem. An ecosystem is a collaborative environment which depends on multiple organisms. So once one attribute or animal vanishes, the whole ecosystem functioning begins to unravel. So when species are vanishing at a rapid and unnatural rate, the balance is completely broken. So losing any species will lead to a strong ripple effect. In the last 250 years, 571 have been confirmed extinct, and there is between 200 and 2,000 extinction every year. According to the IUCN, more than 31,000 are threatened with extinction. 41% of amphibians, 25% of mammals, 14% of birds, 30% of shark and rays, 33% of reef corals, 27% of selected crustaceans. Due to the advancement in technology and equipment, we humans are able to more efficiently gather resources and at a quicker rate. For example, fishing gear and boats have improved so more fish are harvested. And with the human population growth rate increasing so rapidly, the demands obviously becomes higher. So, the hunting goes. Many species are critically endangered due to hunting. Illegal hunting is a huge problem and still threatens wildlife significantly today, especially the large mammals. The illegal wildlife trade is the 4th largest criminal industry in the world and one of the biggest threats to some of the most iconic species on the planet, like the rhino and the elephant. Animals are hunted and used for the foreclaimed medicinal purposes, ivory, and many more. Most hunting, fishing, and collecting activities affect not only the primary target species but also the species that are taken accidentally. So this has a domino effect. It has a severe impact on the food web and the environment. The next one is the habitat loss. Habitat loss is one of the leading threats to species diversity. It is considered the most important driver of species extinction worldwide. We destroy their habitats to make room for a growing human population to grow more crops and provide space for livestock. Take, for example, agriculture has replaced nearly all wetlands in North America. All species have a specific food and habitat needs. So if their habitats are produced, contaminated, or destroyed, evidently the species will suffer and decline and eventually become extinct. Animals that need large areas to roam are being squeezed into smaller areas. African lions, for example, they are forced to live on less than 10% of the land they once occupied. It is also led to an increase in human-wildlife conflict as humans and animals fight over the same territory. The effect of pollution to our biodiversity. There are 500 times more of pieces of microplastic in the sea than the stars in our galaxy. 800 million tons of plastic is dumped into the ocean each year. This includes the Arctic and the remote island in the Pacific Ocean. The plastic is having a devastating impact on the world's marine wildlife. They eat it, they get trapped in it, it overwhelms and destroys their environment. Because plastic degrades to microscopic levels, fish absorb through their stomach and into their flesh, meaning that humans also end up eating their own plastic waste. The question is, can we turn this around? Yes, we can turn this around and we can make a difference. In the last few years, a revolution in the environmental agenda has taken shape and spreading into movement, which now appears to be unstoppable. This is a revolution in collaboration for action and a new drive for environmental cooperation. Always remember that there is still time that we can save threatened and endangered species and vulnerable communities. We can recover and restore what has been lost and balance human activity using conservation. As individuals and communities, we can and must take actions. We can make a difference if we all unite together and take responsibility. Thank you.